What is up, gamers? Welcome back to the Long Island TCG Tournament for Pokemon. We are joined by some guests here. They can't talk, but they're pretty cool, if I do say so myself. We got our good friend Dragapult, or as I like to call him, Dragonpult. You got
Dragon Catapult.
Dragon Catapult, baby. You know, you got your Dragonpult, and he's got the little dragon eepies on the top of his head here. We do love ourselves some Dragonpult, but tell me about your friend. What's going on
I've got
here?
my friend Glaceon right here. Nice little cute fluffy plush. Trying to see if we can get him to stand up right here. See if we can get her going here. There we go. There you go. Nice and propped up. But these two are just an example of some of the merchandise and stuff you can get on the show floor at the Long Island TCG Show. Tons of vendors to choose from and to get either cards, different memorabilia. We have a couple of vendors that are selling just all plushes, like our little friend right here. So definitely worth checking that out if you are in the area. Again, the Long Island TCG Show at the Melville Hilton on Route 110 over here. So that is definitely a very good place to be. Have it the show once a month. Probably having these invitationals behind me back here once on those time frames anyway. Now, I guess so far into the tournament, we've got a couple. I think we have one table at 3-0. Across the board,
I think there are two players who are probably locked in as long as they ID. I think even if they don't, they're not. I think those players are Luke and Liz. So on both Dragapult and Raging Bolt, I think they should be locked. I don't know if they hit each other this round. There may have been a pair down, but they are both at 3-0. I believe there might be another 3-0 as well.
Right. I'm waiting
So
to see.
the other 3-0 would be the winner of Kevin and Mike Formanak, Kevin Fuentes and Mike Formanak. So I know they were playing off stream. That's Reggie Drago versus Gardevoir.
Yeah, I did see that game go into time. So I don't know if they tied. I think they are still playing.
They're still playing.
So they are in turns currently. So I do see a world where they can tie, and that might screw up the bracket a little bit. But
yeah, definitely could.
We'll have to see what exactly that turns out. So I guess so far, what have you been seeing this tournament? Anything too crazy aside from any meta picks? I know we had our Lost Box just win on stream last round, so in a very convincing fashion. So that might have locked up his, a very good chance at him Sajith Nullable and making top 4. Any other decks you were seeing or anything else like that?
Yeah, no, not 100%. Honestly, the big thing, was the Lost Box was. I almost feel weird even calling it a rogue deck. Honestly, at this point, I think it's just really strong. Even between kind of these stream matches, I've been, scrolling through Twitter, kind of looking at some of these top decks that have been doing really well at EUIC. And Lost Box has a ton of top 64 placements. I think another one kind of squeaked into top 32. Looks like this deck is definitely in a really strong spot in the current meta game. Obviously, at these higher tables, we got Luke on Raging Bolt, we got Liz on Dragapult. So those are two decks that you're likely going to be seeing in top 4. Raging Bolt, not a deck that a lot of people are thinking about right now, but it does have a very good Dragapult matchup, so that could be really strong for it. Kind of speaking about what Kevin Fuentes and Liz are both playing, looking at our little graphic here, we do got the Dragapult and the Gardevoir. But also Archaladon, we saw on stream before. Kind of unfortunate, the double prize penalty occurring. But Miraidon, don't think we see much of that today.
Yeah, definitely did not see a lot of Miraidon. I did see that. I think it was just Yomar that was one. Let me just see if I can.
Oh, yeah, because Yomar was 2-1, I believe, right?
Yep. Yeah, I believe Yomar was 2-1 going into it, and I believe that he was not able to win his match. So I don't know if he was able to bring that out and make it.
Yeah, because I think he was 2-0, but he might be 2-1 now. I
Yeah.
think because I think he maybe got paired down, but I'm not 100% sure. Because there were 5 2-0s, so someone definitely did get paired down. Not 100% sure who that was, but yeah, I do know that the 2 3-0s that are locked in are Luke and Liz here. So honestly, if they hit each other, I'm sure we're going to see an intentional draw so they can lock in that the top cut placement. But yeah, in terms of these other 3-0s, hitting 2 1s, likely we'll have to play it out. So.
Yep. So still a very competitive room. Still going into potentially the last 2 seeds making their way into top 4. So we will have to see based on the results of that match.
Yeah.
So
I'd imagine the match we'll see will probably be like maybe 2 2-1s playing, or like a 3-0, one of the 3-0s versus a 2-1, right?
Very true.
So maybe if like the pair down happens, we might see that as like a win it in kind of situation. So really excited to see exactly what goes down here. We do have one more round of Swiss before the top 4 cuts, so we do still have one more round, before this top 4 is locked in. So
All right, and this last round will be best of 1, and then we will be switching to best of 3 for our top cut, which is traditional in our league cups. If you're not familiar with the tournament structure on, your grassroots tournaments, you have league challenges, which offer a small amount of points, but essentially is your glorified local. You have your just 3 or 4 or 5 rounds of Swiss, and then placements are decided right at the end there. Goodbye, Dragapult. See you later.
We'll miss him. Well, I think we'll see him on stream later.
We'll see him later.
Yeah.
And then, so then for our best of 3 for League Cups. League Cups, you traditionally start with a best of 1, Swiss, 3, 4, 5 rounds, same as a League Challenge. But then after the top 4 or top 8, depending on the size of your tournament, they typically will then go to what's called a top cut, which is best of 3. You have 50 or 75 minutes, depending on your...
50, 60, 75, kind of varies. I think we're doing 60 here. I believe I was told that before, but...
Yes, the official tournament format for Pokemon for your regionals is 50 minutes, but usually for League Cups, they are traditionally a little bit more lenient, and they offer 75 minutes. You need to finish a best of 3, meaning you need to win at least 2 games in your timer, either 50, 60, or 75 minutes. So definitely thought behind that being now you have to have the additional set of, okay, maybe I'm behind in this first game. Maybe I have enough time to concede the first game and give myself a chance at winning 2 games back-to-back and winning. So it looks like we just got confirmation that Mike lost, which means that Kevin Fuentes will be moving on at 3-1, potentially.
3-0, I believe.
Is he 3-0?
I believe so. I think Mike was. I think they were all 2-0 going into this round.
Okay.
So it looks like the undefeateds right now are Raging Bolt, Dragapult, and Gardevoir. So I do imagine the 2 3-0s that hit each other will probably intentionally draw, but one of those 3-0s will likely get the pair down and have to play it out. Due to being 3-0, the resistance is good enough that they'll probably likely make cut regardless if they lose or win, but it is something that's going to happen here most likely. So I'm imagining we're going to get that match. So probably table 2, the 3-0 versus the 2-1 would be my guess.
Yep, that will be the big match. Still a best of 1 in this case, and then we'll be moving on to the best of 3 in the top cut. Now, traditionally, continuing about, League Cups and challenges, definitely a comment to be said about, supporting your local scenes. That is a huge thing.
Heck yeah.
This is a grassroots tournament that we are just holding on the TCG show on Long Island, but, there is definitely something to be said about supporting your local shops. There are, I believe, 6 or 7 shops that can hold the championship point events currently on the island. Be sure to go.
Let's see if we can name them all, right? Brothers Grimm, Collector's Emporium, Rip and Ship, Smoke and Mirrors. Ooh. Comic Book Depot, that's 5. And then there's one more. Can you fill the blank for me? I'm forgetting, truthfully.
Ooh, we've got the setup for our stream match. We have a win-in Dragapult versus Garchomp EX, a very not traditional deck from who is presumably my brother Andrew versus I believe Steven on I think that's his name.
Yeah, Steven. That's Steven.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So we got Dragapult versus Garchomp here. Both these players appear to be 2-1. So this is a potential win-it-in situation. One of these 3-1s could be able to make it into the top 4 to be able to play out that top 4 best of 3 set. So this is definitely a important game for both of these. Bizarrely enough, I can tell you a lot about that Garchomp deck that Andrew's going to play, and I'm sure you can too. I played him in a Win-A-Box finals a couple weeks ago with Gardevoir. It was a close set. I did manage to squeak it out, but there's definitely some really crazy things that can happen with that deck. I know he does play a Monkey Dory. He has some Ogie Dogies on the back burner. He's waving over.
Nice little wave.
Yeah,
with the
what's
camera.
up, guys? Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Say hi to the world, everybody.
But I was talking to him about the list as well. I know he's got a Cornerstone in there. I'm not going to do much in this matchup, unfortunately, but he does have the Monkey Dory, which is a pretty large help when it comes to kind of moving around those Dragapult damage counters.
Although I will mention as well, Garchomp, the first attack is a single fighting energy and does 160 damage, which is not horrible by any means for 1 energy, but it takes 3 energy, up to 3 basic fighting energy from your discard pile and attaches them to your Pokemon in any way you like. What that does in this case for this matchup, that you can potentially charge up a new card from the new set called Regigigas. Regigigas says that if you attack, it does 100 damage, but if you're attacking a Terra Pokemon, it does 230 damage instead. So Andrew seems like we've just got confirmation that Andrew won the coin flip and he is going first. So we've got our fist bump, and we will begin, starting with Okie Dokie. So the idea behind this deck is maybe getting your Garchomp into play, charging up the fighting energy from your discard pile, and then potentially, swinging with the Okie Dokie or swinging with the other Pokemon that you would charge up from the Garchomp again and again. Oh, and we just have the what looks like the attach pass from Andrew.
I think it's Badoo time, right?
All right. So
there's a supporter.
So we've got our Arven. Looks like we are going to be looking for Arven. Search your deck for an item and a tool card. Maybe potentially a buddy and something else that you want to use on this turn. So we'll have to see what happens. We've got the buddy.
Already eyeing up the buddy. So we do have a few choices here. I am a little curious what the aspect of choices here. I believe it is Crystal, but for some reason, maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. I thought I saw a reset stamp in there. Could be wrong. We'll see. I guess he's going to do another deck search. Or unfair stamp, rather. My bad.
Yeah, let's see.
So let's see. We're going to get that Badoo out. Makes a lot of sense. Andrew did not do much on his first turn.
That does look like the unfair stamp.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we look at that card a lot. So, I mean, I would trust myself on that. So, yeah, it looks like we are playing the is that the unfair stamp?
I think that was the unfair stamp. Oop.
Oh, a little bit of a shuffle and mishap happens
Careful
sometimes. Okay, got some mashes going on. Okay, we're good.
All right, let's see what we've got on the board. Oh, Andrew does have the Arven to play on too. So he can potentially get a couple of Pokemon on the board this turn. So if he does find a way to get the Dark type attach onto the Monkey Dory, then he can technically swing Monkey Dory. Okie Dokie. Okie Dokie's abilities is similar to how Pheasantipity and Monkey Dory's abilities work from that set. As if you have a Dark energy attached, you can do something. In this case, Okie Dokie's attacks deal 100 more damage, and he gets 100 more health, setting his health to total to 230, which is really big against Dragapult. So now we'll have to see what he does. So we have the 10 damage off of the Itchy Pollen from Steven. If Andrew is able to get the energy to attach, he can swing this turn, but we'll have to see if he can get anything else on the board. He's going to Arven. He can't play any item cards, but we'll have to see if he can get something. He's looking to see what his potential options are here. It doesn't look like Steven has a lot, but he does. He can potentially get the swing on 2 to KO.
And this is the thing with Dragapult now, right? You don't need a lot anymore. Badoo gives you that space. It gives you some room to breathe. It gives you some time to set up. And Andrew's turn was just really, really underwhelming. His hand wasn't really built to go first. This was definitely a go second kind of hand. So in this situation,
smart play here, because he has to now see what's going to happen here is the Bravery Charm. You will attach the Bravery Charm to the Okie Dokie and then say, okay, look, now you can't KO me with the Dusknoir. You have to swing with Dragapult in order to get there. You can't play the Nest Ball. You can't do that. So at least you'll be able to take a knockout. It all depends on Steven and his ability to get anything into play. He just can't play the Nest Ball just yet.
So he does have 2 of those in hand. I know he's kind of sitting on them. At least the nice thing here is he will be able to get rid of the Badoo, so item lock probably will not be holding him back next turn, but I'll be honest, there's a chance there isn't even a next turn at all. So we'll just have to see what happens here. This next turn could be disaster for Andrew, not going to lie.
Yeah, on the next turn, so he did take the knockout. It is all up to what happens next, because there are several routes that you can take to get to the Dusknoir play here. I don't see any rare candies, and I don't see any ability to do that, so maybe there's a potential you could just take it slower, evolve into the Dracloak, and try to see if you can get to the Dusknoir.
Yeah, opting for the slower game here. Doesn't want to, play the Iono and, maybe risk whiffing.
Okay, so now we've got the Dusknoir. So now here's how this game is going to have to go. The heads-up play, choosing not to take the rare candy. I definitely think that there might have been a world where you could have there. Mainly if you do draw into the psychic energy off of
you can knock out the Okie Dokie and Donk.
You can knock out the Okie Dokie and Donk. So I think going for the the safer game plan, that's fine. We do have the option to Iono here, but that does give Andrew an additional turn to maybe draw into something he needs. We do have the boss, so Okie Dokie only hitting 70, so if he does top deck the Dark Energy, then maybe he could get there, or the Luminous, actually, because he plays 4 copies of that.
Yep.
Luminous functions as a Dark Energy in this case, so we'll have to see, because it looks like the only thing that Steven can really do is just Iono. So depending on what Andrew gets off of his next hand, he could have built up a board this turn.
I see what you're saying, though. Like, if he took the red candy here and played the Iono, he just needs a Psychic Energy to win the game. So this is a situation where, I mean, maybe he just didn't see the line, but the Psychic Energy off the Iono would have been the dream here. And we do know that Andrew's hand is loaded with items. We just saw him get a Nest Ball. He hasn't been able to play anything from his hand since the Badoo occurred. So we do know Andrew has a ton of cards he actually can play here. We are just going to opt for the Badoo again, though.
That is very smart. So
I don't hate this either. This is fine.
Yeah, so now the play here becomes, So we have another fighting energy. Not too much going on here. The Irida does get you the water-type Pokemon, so in this
Get a
case, it'll
Greninja.
probably be Greninja. You can draw cards, so now you can start, giving yourself the chance to build yourself up a board. You do get to take the second prize card, potentially, if you get an option here. The top deck of the fighting energy was very good, so now, if you do get another Pokemon into play here, and then off of the Greninja draw, that is another a Gibble.
Yeah, so we'll get our guy set up. We do have the Rick Candy and the Garchomp in hand.
So now we've got the Luminous Energy now. So now Okidogi effectively has 210 HP and swings for 170 per turn. We do have the Gibble. There's no damage on the board aside from the 20 damage. So there is a world where if he does get the Dragapult swing, we're going to have a So you can't play item cards. Okay.
He didn't look through his deck, so we're good. Okay, cool.
Good catch on the finish
there.
Good
catch.
Good catch on the finish. Good sportsmanship by Steven. Now let's just see what Andrew can do next. So now he takes the second prize card. Okay, so now there's a world where Ionoing is a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Ionoing Andrew here is not bad for Steven at all. He'll go down to 4. We do see Andrew, obviously, even that turn, he didn't play many cards from hand. So this is a situation where, basically, in terms of just the cards Andrew has played, Steven should know that he has a bunch of playable cards. So if the Badulak is coming off, I think the Iono is the wave this turn.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. Yep, all right,
there
so we'll
it is.
Just have to see. Now, the key thing to note here, because Okidogi has effectively 200 and what is it? It's 100 plus 130, which is 230, plus the Bravery Charm.
290?
It is 290.
Bro is large.
Or actually, no, 230 plus 280.
280. Bro is large.
So that means what will have to happen is that even with a Dusclops, Steven can't get there. So he has to go Rare Candy, Dusknoir, potentially give him an additional prize card, and then swing with Dragapult in order to get the KO. And that might just not happen here.
This hand is looking really underwhelming too. I think there's just a Dusclops in there. I saw a Lost Vacuum, and I guess you could get rid of the Bravery Charm, but I mean, there's not much else going on here. We do have a Farseal, but no target for it. I think we're just going to have to wait and Dracloak next turn and just kind of hope for the best. Maybe a counter catcher stall here could happen, but...
And now keep in mind, we did see that Andrew had a boss in his hand the previous turn, so he could definitely take a very key knockout in KOing the Dragapult this turn. We'll have to see what Steven does here.
Yeah, and it seems like in this situation, too, it's the Badoo's, obviously it slows down your opponent, but you still are losing prize cards. You're still going down, and in a situation like this, it may have just been, Andrew's start looked so weak, but maybe it was just enough to kind of get him over the finish line here and really establish some threats here.
Because now if he passes, what can happen now is that he does have the Nest Ball. He has the additional options to draw more cards. So now he can build up a board that maybe Steven can't exactly deal with if he can draw cards later on.
Yeah, so I think we are going to see the counter catcher. We are going to see a stall here. I think that this is probably correct. I think Andrew likely does have the energy in hand. I guess we'll see. So I think the Gibble will go up.
The Gibble, no, he's there. All right, so let's see what Steven does here.
And then it's going to be a pass, I think.
Oh, is it?
Is that a pass motion?
He's trying to figure it out.
They're kind of figuring out exactly what's going on here.
So Steven doesn't know what to do. So is he just gonna swing for 10?
Guess he
no,
could.
He
just
passed.
Yeah.
Oh no, because the Petty Grudge only costs a Psychic, not a Fire.
The more you know, man. I had no idea. Wait.
Yeah. So now we've got a board. So we've got Bravery Charm on the Greninja. We've got all of your board state Pokemon protected right now. So that means that with the Dusknoir play that can potentially happen next turn, you've got a lot of options.
Yeah.
So Andrew needs an energy.
I am eyeing the energy in hand, the Luminous. He will be able to retreat, and I know he has the boss. I think in this situation, it just has to be the Dracloak.
Yeah, it has to. It has to be the Dracloak here. You can't be afraid of the Dusknoir play because your board is strong enough to do anything that you need here. So he'll evolve. Looks like he has a Gabite. Good. All right, so now let's see what the next play is.
Oh, he's just going to take the knockout on the active here.
Did he have... I thought he had the boss in the hand. I don't know. Oh, it was Iono the previous turn.
Oh, he was Iono'd away.
Yes.
Okay.
So now here... Okay, so we're still in a decent spot, right? Because you
do have the Gabite in play, too. We just need a Garchomp. We don't need any extra cards.
Right. So we do have the option with that. It seems like the Dracloak play is not exactly on... Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, we do have to take the Rotom here. I mean, we need the Farseal target.
Yeah, because what's going to happen here is that you're going to have to go and get the Arven maybe out of the deck so that you can get the crit. Oh, no, because he plays the Unfair Stamp. So he'll have to attach this turn actually instead.
Oh, that's true. Oh my goodness, yeah. I guess he could get an Earthen Vessel, but
Right.
for a Psychic maybe.
But even then, that's not enough damage to KO the Okidogi this turn. So that means that Andrew could actually, if he has to give Andrew an additional prize. Yep, they're talking about how much HP is on the board right now. So what has to happen is that he has to get not only the Dust, he has to use the Dustnoyer, give Andrew a prize card, set him to 3, and then punch the Okidogi to take his first prize card. Not the best situation, I'll tell you that much. So maybe there might be a world where you just take the energy, retreat into the Dustnoyer, and then draw 3 cards with Rotom, potentially next turn, deciding, okay, you know, because the Okidogi can't. Oh no, the Okidogi does 170. So you're effectively here. You are giving up whatever. You are giving up whatever Pokemon you have. That is tough. Yep, and he's reading.
Yeah, we gotta read up. Yeah, I think I saw him do it earlier, but maybe it's just kind of setting in exactly how much health this single prize card has right now.
Yeah.
Funny thing too is I know the deck plays Legacy Energy as well, so you could have like a 280 HP thing
That
for
only
no
gives-
prize cards,
gives
which is
up-
insane.
Yeah, which seems to be a very good situation here that seems like the Dragapult's having issues dealing with. I mean, if he was able to swing once already this turn, then it would have been a better option. But, I mean, Andrew's hand size is not that big. We do have an option for him to be able to maybe draw a card or two if he has another energy. We'll have to see what Steven gets off of the Forest Sealstone. Maybe potentially it's just the Dragapult. You swing for 70 plus, you know, whatever else you have on the board right now, or just see what you can do.
Do you see the counter catcher in hand too? I'm thinking maybe this could be an angle where we can stop the Gabite from really setting up this board a little more. But at the same time, honestly, the big threat here is the Okidogi. But no matter how you slice it, Steven's just not going to be able to one-shot it
this turn.
This turn, if he plays the stamp at least.
Yeah, because it would be 250. It would be 250 to swing in. It's 130 plus the 20, which is 250. You'd be giving Andrew a prize card and swinging for 200, right?
Yeah, I guess you could Dustnoir it, but that's also giving up another one. You're going down so much.
And you're not even KOing it. It only has 20 damage on it right now. So 20 plus the 130 would be 150 plus the 200. Oh, no, it would be 350.
I was going to say that. I think that's dead.
350.
Yeah, yeah.
This just in, your caster can't do math.
That's real.
Unfortunately.
Hey, man, I can't do math, but I know big number when I see it.
Yeah, so, but the problem is now is that he has to have the energy. So we'll have to see what happens here. Maybe you could go for the Lance, could go for, you know, a couple of different options, could just go for the, actually, let's see what he opts, because he did take a knockout the previous turn.
That is a Sparking Crystal, by the way. We are blind.
Yep, that is a crystal.
Just in.
Okay.
Yep, that is a crystal.
So he does have the crystal. So I think Arvin is probably his best bet here. So he grabs the crystal and he grabs the, the Ultra Ball. So he'll have to dump his entire hand to get to a Dragapult EX this turn and give up a prize card. So
that's tough. I wonder if you could get a Pheasantipity here and just try to see a little more cards. Like, what are the chances that you whiff the Dragapult here? I think we just need to establish something. You know, like one Dragapult
you definitely
here.
Arvin. You definitely Arvin here, mainly just because like you have to have something. You have to put up some sort of offense this turn. The V-Star is done. There was supporter from the previous turn, so that's fine. He can play the Arvin here. He didn't play any other supporter. Andrew just confirming that is the case.
Yeah.
So it's Crystal. He just has to produce the Ultra Ball.
I guess it just has to be a Ultra Ball. Yeah, because I was saying, like, what if like he got a Nest Ball here for like a Fez? That was kind of my thought, but I think we just need to attack. We just need to do some kind of, you know, aggressive play here. It's kind of all there is to it. And he does have the Super Rod and the Vacuum.
He has the Vacuum. So now the problem with the Ultra Ball is that you can't vacuum. Because if you go down to 2 cards, evolve into the Dragapult, then you only have 1 card. And Lost Vacuum, you have to throw a card into the Lost Zone in order to use the card. So now you don't have enough cards to actually get rid of this. So you'll have to commit Dusknoir in order to do it, which means that Andrew does effectively has 2 turns in order to produce some sort of offense on the follow-up here. We'll see what Steven discards. We'll have to see.
Going to be the Super Rod. I just think it has to be that. We're not currently using it right now, but he's kind of like looking at these two. The counter catcher does have some potential here, so I think maybe holding on to it would be strong since it probably will be live for the rest of the game.
Right.
I think I like this decision here from Steven. I think we just get the Dragapult, hold on to the counter catcher for now.
Grabs the Dragapult, guarantees the attack. So now I'll just say also is that Rotom is still on the board. If Andrew does have a Gust and in a way to set up Pokemon on the board here, if Steven chooses to go after the bench instead of going after the active, we'll have to see how exactly that pans out because he does have the counter catcher. So let's see what happens here.
All right, so we are going to evolve. We are going to see the Dragapult hit the field. I think this is like turn 4, but better late than never.
Very true.
We do got that tool attached. It is not an unfair stamp. It is a sparkling crystal. This just in. I think he is just refraining. Is he dust snoring here? I think he's kind of considering it.
Right, because you'd give Andrew the prize card to set down to 2, which means that if Andrew does get the option to swing with a Garchomp EX, it almost guarantees that he's able to swing the following turn for 2 prize cards to win. So there is a world where Steven can hold the Dusknoir, set up the damage on the board so that he can board wipe Andrew the following turn to win. And I think that might be what he's doing with the counter catcher. He might be removing. Okay, so he's probably asking how much HP the Greninja has with the Bravery
With the charm, maybe. Is it going to counter catch with the Greninja?
So he's going to counter catch with the Greninja. Okay, so he's going to remove Andrew's access to draw and set up the board wipe the following turn. I think is the play that he's going to do. I think that is probably.
Oh, he's gonna. Okay, I don't hate this either. You know, just kind of rid Andrew of all of these cards and just kind of go heavy into the Okie Dokie here. And
Yep,
he's gonna
so
put
that's
all of it
60.
down.
So
Yep.
now Okie Dokie has 80. Effectively, it has 200 health, which sets it up to an exact Dragapult KO. Andrew draws another Okie Dokie. Okay, so now we've got something going on here. If Andrew gets to the boss or any way to get to it, he does win the game on the spot. Because he's able to KO the Rotom. So we'll have to see. Okay, so he's going to research.
Okay, so we don't have it just yet, but we are seeing 7 cards. I think if he
This
can
is-
get 2 attachments down on the Okie Dokie, he does have 2
Okay.
turns to find it.
So he's got the Luminous. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see because now he's got 230 HP. Steven cannot deal with the additional Okie Dokie, and he's got the Lumen in hand.
He does have the Pheasantipity as well. That would be really good to bench here, in case you get Iono'd or something. Like somehow, if Steven top decks an Iono, you would at least have some draw after the knockout,
Exactly. And he did get a knockout the previous turn, so Andrew would be able to draw 3 additional cards. He might not want to keep the board presence that way. I think his best play right now probably would be to put down that Pheasantipity and then see what he can do from there.
For sure. Let's see some cards, baby.
So he chooses to swing. He chooses to take the riskier strategy. We know that Steven only has 2 cards in his hand, so he could potentially draw the Iono. He's not taking any knockouts. He's not doing anything too crazy here. So Andrew does have a lot of options for the following turn, given he is not disrupted. I do not know what the prize cards or the prize card that Steven took was, so we'll have to see. We've got Boss, Dracloak. So now you can't disrupt Andrew's hand. That effectively guarantees Andrew the game here, I believe.
Yeah. Honestly, benching the Fez here, maybe he just didn't really need to do it, because Steven can bench other things, but he has the Luminion in hand.
He also doesn't.
He
He can't even set up another Pokemon. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be able to really do it. He can't really set up another Dragapult to push forward. So no matter what, as long as that Dragapult at an active, takes the hit from the Okie Dokie, there's nothing Steven can really promote here effectively to win, right? That's kind of the issue
and
here
I think that's what they're discussing, and he definitely takes the knockout. It looks like, let's see what Andrew can do. I think he's got everything in his hand.
He's got energy in hand, I believe. I saw it earlier. Night Stretcher, Okie Dokie?
Night Stretcher, Okie Dokie? He doesn't have the additional energy, Andrew. Okay.
Okay. There. Scared me there, Andrew.
Careful, Andrew. You gotta show the boss.
Yeah.
All right, and we have the
me a little
concession from
bit.
Steven. All right, Andrew. Careful there, brother man. Careful. We'll probably get him up on the interview real quick because that is definitely a deck that I want to talk about with him. Andrew taking it, going to 3-1 over Steven.
Yeah.
Dragapult.
Pretty cool to see that's a rogue deck. You're talking
For
about Lost
sure.
Box. That's a rogue deck right there. That's cool to see, seeing Garchomp, do pretty well against Dragapult. From what we've seen, honestly, locally, I think the deck does all right against Dragapult. It has the Monkey Dory. The Okie Dokies are really hard for Dragapult to really effectively deal with.
Very true.
The matchup is not bad, and honestly, no Garchomp even saw the field, but this slower approach from the new Dragapult deck really gave Andrew the position to just set up a huge Okie Dokie that wasn't really easy to deal with.
Very true. He was able to take the first 2, and he was able to kind of adjust his game plan based on that. Potentially, maybe if Steven was able to get a knockout earlier, then maybe this would be a different game. But he was only able to take his first prize card off of that, and he still had the legacy available. He still had the other options, so I think the lead was just too far ahead. So props to Andrew on that one. Definitely playing the cards close to his chest. A little bit shaky at the end there. Definitely make sure.
Scared me,
make sure
right?
you have. Definitely make sure you have game in hand before you do that. But Yeah, I mean, still pretty convincing win. That might secure his berth in top cut in top 4.
It's probably 4th or 5th. I think there might be like
Yeah, so
one
we'll have to
bubble,
see.
one or two
We'll have
bubbles.
to see if he
Yeah.
bubbles, but definitely a very good performance that he should be proud of on the tournament today.
yeah.
So looks like he's standing right there.
Yeah,
looking
looks
at
like
me.
we're gonna have him over here for a little interview. I mean, he's your brother, so I think I'm the one who's got to get up this time. So
We'll take it. Step right up. Step right up. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to put that on. Absolutely. Camera right there. Say hello to the people at home. And then, all right. So let's talk your match, Andrew. Garchomp EX. Definitely a very interesting deck.
Yes,
Something that you
absolutely.
wouldn't typically see, in any sort of meta in this room. But definitely has a lot of the tools that you get to beat the Dragapult. Definitely seemed like he had a very slow start, but you were able to capitalize on it. I guess just let's talk about what your game plan is, I guess, going into a deck like that. Because this isn't a deck you typically see, so the viewers at home might not understand really what your game plan is with the deck.
So I've been playing Garchomp for a while. Basically, the deck capitalizes a lot on just really efficient attacks all the time. In that game, it was definitely too slow. Both players, both myself and my opponent, were playing very slowly. But the big heavy hitter for the deck is obviously Okidogi.
Right.
With a Luminous Energy, which counts as both a fighting energy and a dark energy, and a regular fighting energy, it has 230 health and can deal 170 damage, which is a really important number, especially with how all EXs in the game have no higher than 340 health. And especially Miraidon, which is a big deck right now. I deal double damage into Miraidon.
Okay, yeah, definitely gives you the ability to prize trade favorably. I know that you said you have the legacy energy in the deck, so that does let you prize trade even more. So definitely seems like a strategy that could work out in a format like this. I assume, the only bad matchup probably being Gardevoir, actually, probably is pretty rough for you.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, definitely seemed like a pretty good setup for you. You definitely got yourself on the board pretty early. You got yourself into the game, and he just decided to play it a little bit slower, as the meta deck is want to do.
Yeah.
You would Badoo again, make sure that you don't have any item cards. You just kind of stuck to your guns, and you were able to do that. So definitely good on you. I mean, as far as the game goes, that last play at the end there, you got a little shaky there.
Yeah.
You had all the pieces twice over.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, hey, here's a play, and then here's another one, and woo.
Did you realize that you could have just hit the
No, not at all.
Dragapult again? I see. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
I had a feel like I was more focused on just the Rotom because, like, obviously it's an electric type. Dealing double damage is like a big deal. So, but yeah, absolutely, I was just
definitely good tip for the future. Keep all your wing cons open there, my friend. So,
Yeah, absolutely,
but still very well played. I know that he kind of went towards attacking your Garchomp because that would have effectively guaranteed you the game there. You'd be able to attach and swing with another Pokemon.
Absolutely. That was a good play by him. If I had gotten that Garchomp set up, I mean, that would have pretty much sealed the game. But like I said, the big deal with the Okidogis is just their massive health total, and they're only single prizers. So it's like
with the Bravery Charm, what, it's 280, I believe?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's big.
So I have to force, basically my entire game plan is just being really efficient and forcing my opponent to take as many single prize knockouts or even zero prize knockouts that they possibly can. So
makes sense.
In this case, it worked out, especially with Badoo format, making things super slow. It allows me to, it gets me those extra turns that I need to actually do what I need to do. But but either way, it was good on him. He did play well with the hand that he got. So, kudos to him. He definitely played really well. We'll see what's next.
All right, yeah, we'll see how you match up into the top cut. Well played for you, my friend. Just maybe be a little bit more careful next time. Right
Yeah.
But well played all around. So at this point, we're going to get you back over to the floor, see if you can rest and relax a little bit, get yourself ready for maybe what potentially might be your first top cut match, depending on if you bubble in or bubble out. But
yeah, we'll see.
We hope to see you there.
Yeah, cool. Thanks,
all right,
Thanks
good job. We will put it back to you guys after a quick commercial break. We will be back with potentially our first top cut game. It'll be top 4. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.